because I'm going to send this recording out to the people who can't make it live, but then you can send it to your husband, and I'll say it again for your husband.
Okay.
Brittany is the most lovely, wonderful, incredible person, and she's been helping us out so much. She works for the Chocolate Mansion and also for Linda Sue, their sister partner property, and which is just right across the street from the Chocolate Mansion, if you haven't seen that. And she's going to take us on a tour. So we learned from the warrior that sometimes we had connection issues. So Brittany went ahead and recorded the tour ahead of time. So she's going to show us that, and then she's going to be available for questions. So if you have questions during the tour, go ahead and put them in the chat, or wait until the end of the video, and then you can ask them audibly then as well. So Brittany, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. When I was first asked to do this, I was like really, really, really excited. I forget, when did you ask me? I want to say,
it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was either late last year or early this year. And I had a lot more ambition. I am currently almost 30 weeks pregnant. So in the video, don't mind my bump and my heavy breathing, but we put together a cute little video. My marketing partner, Kevin, and I, we wanted it to feel like you guys were actually following me through the house. But remember, if you guys, after this, like she said, if you have questions, ask. Otherwise, the house is open and ready for reservations, and it has been since last July. So if that is something you're interested, I can definitely help you with that afterwards. Really quick, a little bit about the Linda Sue Manor, which is the sister property. That was actually my family home. So I moved into that in 2000 with my mom and my dad. I was about 10. So I was like, why are we moving into this big old museum by ourselves? But the house is amazing, and it's been a huge part of my life ever since. My mom passed away in 16 from small cell carcinoma cancer. So we decided at that point, I was moved out, living with my husband, pregnant with my first child. My dad and I decided, let's keep it in honor of her and open it as a boutique hotel, somewhat like a bed and breakfast, just without the breakfast. And we opened it in 17, and it's been great. And then the Chocolate Mansion is actually my dad's business partner, his and his wife's property, and they were looking to downsize and thought, I was doing a great job. They wanted to continue it and open it just like that. So we decided to open that, and we opened that in July of last year. So it's been fun running both properties. It's been an adventure. I did sales for 5 years prior to working full time at the Linda Sue Manor. So it was kind of a little bit different of a direction, but I've really loved meeting new people that get to come visit, showing off both properties. And also I kind of feel like I've grown, I was born and raised in Sioux City. So I kind of feel like I got to know Sioux City a little bit better because I always promote it to anybody that's coming. And I've met so many young entrepreneurs like myself in this town that have also created this really cool way of sharing a connection with our town to outside travelers. So with that being said, I will go ahead. The link is a YouTube link. It was the only way to get this video. It's about 20 minutes long. But if there are any questions, I can always go back after it's all said and done. I can go back to that part and you guys can ask questions about it. That's not a problem. So if you want, I can go ahead and start that now. Now,
let me start sharing your screen.
Yep. Let me see. Okay, I would say I've only done this like 3 other times. 2020 was a weird year for me to get used to this. Okay. All participants.
And make sure you do computer sound so that we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay. Let me. And the sound should start shortly, so just let me
Hi,
know.
my name is Brittany, and I'm going to welcome you into the Chocolate Mansion today. We opened as a boutique hotel in 2020 amidst the pandemic, but I'm really excited to show you guys around today, give you a little bit of a tour, and then I'll be here to answer any questions you might have. So welcome to the Chocolate.
Uh-oh. So, Brittany, we lost audio because you muted yourself. Yep. Unfortunately, you have to stay unmuted.
No, that's
yep.
fine. I'll go back a little bit. Okay.
This house was actually built by Charles Milas in 1894. He built it for his wife, Anne, who was still living in England at the time. And in order to get her over here, he built her this beautiful house. Eventually, it was passed down to the Schenkenbergs in 1906, and then to the Eatons. Their daughter, Dorothy, ended up marrying Ed Palmer, and the Palmers lived here for about 50 years, well into the 60s, and that's why it's known as the Palmer House. It was then purchased by Deb and John Walkenfuss in 2004, and in 2020, we opened as a boutique hotel. So in here we have our sitting parlor, also known as a drawing room. As you can see, the colors in here are very beautiful. Deb Walkenfuss actually picked them out to match the colors, kind of the era and of the room, very romantic and kind of calming feeling. As you can see behind me, our beautiful fireplace. We have some beautiful lead-lined fireplace boxes on each side. From our side porch, they were actually able to open from outside, and people were able to put in firewood. And then therefore the homeowners could then put the firewood into the fireplace. So something cool and unique about this. We also have behind us some beautiful natural light windows that are original to the home, which is rare for a lot of Victorian homes as they are more compartmentalized and a little bit darker. This room is bird's eye maple. It is original hardwood, and that can be seen a few other places throughout the home. So as we make our way to the library, you'll see these beautiful doors are original also to the home. They are split Dutch doors. They were put in the late 1800s. In the actual front door opening, you will see the zinc bubble glass. That is because Charles Milas owned a zinc company, and he had these distributed throughout the home. So one of the many beautiful pieces of this home is the window work. And as we make our way into the library next, you'll see more above the library cases. So as we make our way into the library, you'll notice the hardwood floors are original maple. Very beautiful feature of the home. Definitely a little bit harder of a wood than the previous room, but still very beautiful. This room actually was the first in Sioux City to have air conditioning. Dorothy Palmer had severe asthma, so they put air conditioning specifically for this room, so she was could breathe a little easier, a little bit better for her health. Now the whole home does have central air. Very cool pieces about this is that the library shelves, the windows are actually lead-lined windows, and they were not all originally in this home. At one point in the early 2000s, they were found at an auction in an abandoned car, reunited back here where they are today, and hopefully will remain. And another cool piece is some of the original lighting fixtures are still in this room that were originally put into this home. And through here, we have our beautiful dining room. This is a beautiful part of the home. It's where the original homeowners would have had beautiful dinner parties. And you will notice along the walls are beautiful William Morris reproduction wallpaper. This is a very standout wallpaper, very, very pertinent in England. And it was brought over here. Deb had it installed, and it is absolutely beautiful. The other thing you'll notice is up above the bench here is some more of the lead zinc windows. Another beautiful feature of the home, they are also original to the home, so it's very nice to have this natural light in here. As you can see, Deb Walkenfuss had left a lot of her family's china, Astoria glass, and beautiful things to leave here to make this not so sparse and a little bit more home-like for all of our guests that come visit. There also is a beautiful hutch that is from the Catholic rectory that Kelly Connolly, John and Deb's business partner, had purchased for Deb during their anniversary. And we'll make our way into the breakfast room. And in here is our beautiful breakfast nook, perfect for guests who stay because it is the most light and bright room in the house. You can have coffee, breakfast, sit down, read a good book, get some work done if you're traveling for work. The cool thing about this is it actually was added on in 1927. This was the only addition added on to this house. This right here and what we will see upstairs was, which is a beautiful sitting parlor in our master suite. You will see that also as a very beautiful piece that they did add on. And as you can see right next door, the Lindesay Manor, which is our sister property. So we do joint bookings with that, and that means way more room for whole home rentals, bridal parties, and family reunions, things like that. So as we finish up in this room, we'll go ahead and head through our quick coffee bar stop. You will see that. You will see an original hutch in this pantry. So this is our cute, quaint coffee bar area, perfect for guests to make a cup of coffee they'd like, some tea. And then behind is our hutch that we have. Like I said, this is original also to the home. As you will see, a little bit tinier, but it didn't need as much storage back in the day, which is why when we get to the kitchen, you will see all the beautiful cabinetry that was been added over the years, as well as beautiful appliances for all of our guests to use. So in here is probably not what most people think. It's a little bit smaller than anticipated. However, in early 1900s, the homeowners did not usually cook for themselves. They had a staff do it for them. So this is more of the prep space needed for the staff, but also the heart of the home. You can see the beautiful woodwork that has been added in here, the cabinetry, the stove range, and all of this is for our guests to use, like I said. And another cool feature of this is our beautiful windows above the cabinetry. You'll see a bunch of antiques that Deb and John have left behind, resembling a lot of the 1900s, but also some of the Palmer items and beautiful pictures that they have left up here. It makes everything feel just a little bit more homey when we have guests stay, that they're not in a hotel, they're more in a home that they can stay in. And through here is our tiny laundry room, but we'll make our way down the hallway and into our finished basement, which is a little bit of twist on Victorian times, a little bit more modern. But before we do that, to my left, you will see the original powder room of the house, also called a wash closet. It's a little bit tinier, but we also have to remember in the early 1900s, we were a lot smaller. So it works, it's nice to have a bathroom on this level of the home. And with that being said, we'll make our way downstairs. So as we enter the basement, you'll see the flooring, which is very beautiful. Actually is steam heat, so it is controlled and maintained that way throughout the winter. It works great. It's easy for the guests to use and keeps everybody warm. And behind me, you will see the much updated rec room, also a second living room of the home. I love it because when guests have their whole family here, they can come relax and hang out or separate. During whole home rentals, it's nice because you can split up down here, be in your rooms, be on the third floor, whatever you'd like. And over here is our bar area. Very cool feature of the home. Like I said, a little more modern, and it goes well with our pool table. This is great for guests to use as a rec space, enjoy their time here, not just in one space, but all together. Another cool piece of this history is John and Deb have put in this beam that's above me to raise the level of this basement. So it had gone up significantly, making it way more spacious down here than it ever had been before. And another thing is there's a bathroom on this level, so it's great for people who just want to spread out down here and hang out. In the future, we hope to install somewhat of a home gym, which will be nice for guests who are traveling, who, like this past winter, we've had negative temps, and stay in here and get some exercise in. And we'll go ahead and make our way back upstairs and start with the bedrooms.
The floors are creaky, if you guys couldn't hear that.
And up here, we have 3 bedrooms on this side on this level of the home. We'll start with the lemon drop room. Cool part about this room is Deb Walker, who's actually had the chandelier above me, imported from France, has angels, so it could look over her family. Very, very beautiful piece. This room is great for the solo traveler. The bed is another cool piece. Actually, John and Deb were sitting on their front porch, and old man had just happened to drive by and asked the walking pieces if they'd be interested in this antique bed. He had no one else to leave it to. They said sure, and here it's been ever since. So another beautiful piece. And the cool thing about this room is you get a street view of the Pearson Mansion right across the street. Great for guests. And of course, every guest gets a lemon drop, and it's the lemon drop room. And through here is our jelly bean room. This room is a little bit bigger in size. This actually was the original master bedroom of the mansion. It's great for 2 people, queen size bed, beautiful 4-post bed as well. The cool pieces in this room are the artwork that Deb had picked out for the home. Very, very fitting for this room. And behind me, actually where the TV is, on this wall used to be a balcony. It was only up for about 4 years and then it was removed. So as Dorothy and Ed made their lives here, her father actually fell ill and they left him in this room, creating a space of their own on the other side of the house and creating a whole new master suite bedroom. And we will get to that. But first, I want to show you our truffle suite. This beautiful room was actually the reason it took us a little bit longer to open in 2020 because we added a beautiful master bathroom onto this, much larger than the original bathroom that was on it before. And I'll go ahead and show you that first. As you'll see in here, the shower is beautiful, large, spacious, when before it was a third of the size, very retro. Now it's a little bit more modern, but exactly what guests need. So like I said, this took us a little bit longer to get open because of this, but well worth it. In the actual bedroom, it boasts a beautiful California king size bed, and then some other very beautiful artwork as well. Behind this bed is actually a set of 3 windows that is outdoors, goes outdoors to a balcony. There is no door. However, the windows are floor length, meaning you can easily get in and out. That's where we usually keep a very beautiful Christmas tree during the winter months. And we'll make our way into the twin-bed master suite. Like I said, Dorothy and Ed actually added this on as their private master bathroom, bedroom and bathroom, while her father stayed in the original suite of the home. It's on its own wing of the house, which is nice, perfect for a renter who wants a little bit more privacy. Through here, you'll see the king size bed. Beautiful woodwork in this room as well. Very interesting piece of the puzzle of this room is when we first came in, there was a stained glass window that actually was not there originally. It happened to be a hallway leading into the bathroom, but that made the bathroom much more small. So they took that out, put in a beautiful window.
That's not a ghost, I promise.
And as you will see, the bathroom was worth being expanded. This is the beautiful private master bathroom for this room, which also leads into a miniature suite I will get to. But this is perfect for any guest staying. Besides the fact you don't only get a bathroom with this, you actually get a sitting parlor, which I had touched on downstairs, but this was added on in 1927, right above the breakfast nook I had mentioned. Wedding guests love this room because brides can get ready in here, grooms can get ready in here, and let's just be real, sometimes you want some quiet, R&R, this is a place to do it, especially if you rent this room out. But cool thing about this room, if you don't come alone, you have the third wheel with you. You can go ahead and book this room and get the miniature suite on the side. This room has a full-size bed, has access to this bathroom, but it's also very charming as well. So originally this room would have been more for the maid or kind of the nanny of the house. The Palmers actually had their maid who stayed in this room, and I will say she stayed in here well over about 20 years. So about 2 decades, this was her space. John and Deb had turned it into a master closet because, as you saw throughout the house, very tiny closets. We revamped it, turned it back into a bedroom. So we'll make our way across and back up to 3rd floor. Made our way up to the 3rd floor. This is our Blackjack suite. Very cool feature about this room is going to be the floor as well as the accents. The floor was redone by Deb to look like tiger wood, which therefore she styled the room in more Asian Oriental theme. And that has been what has stuck out to guests the most. They love it. It's very, very charming. I don't want to say dark in a bad way, but dark when you just want to rest and relax. This bathroom also does have a private ensuite bathroom right through that door, which is great. You don't have to share a bathroom up here. And this is the only bedroom on this level because the other half of this level is taken up by our very expansive, ever charming ballroom. And we'll make our way over there now. First thing you'll notice right here beside me is one of the original waiter bells. So they would push this to have their butler or waiter for their party come up all the way down from the kitchen or basement, because the basement is also used as kitchens. And they would then come up here into our beautiful ballroom space. This ballroom has a lot of history. It was not always this beautiful. John and Deb really brought it back up to par. You'll see the chandeliers in here. They are not original, but they are very, very, very beautiful. And they are reproductions. And Deb had actually found these at a garage sale and brought them back to life by adding, the lights to it, finding pieces that weren't there that she needed to add in, and they really make this room stand out. Back in the 60s and 70s, this room, you would picture a black paint, black shade carpet, fluorescent lighting, some black lights. This was a belly dancing studio at one point. And it took a lot of work to get these original hardwood back to what they are today and a beautiful setup for weddings and events that we host. Another cool piece of history is this ballroom was used for cotillions, practice, and rehearsals. And on this wall, we have etched in our names of people who got to come here and do their cotillion practice. John and Deb left that piece of history so others could see it, because this ballroom has been a very lively part of the home. And as we make our way back here, we will enter our sewing room. Probably one of the coolest pieces of the home is in the sewing room. We have the original rain catcher of the home. So if you aren't aware, rain catchers were used to catch the rainfall, store and used for the plumbing in the house, which back then would have been one bathroom. And they decided to keep it, move it as an island, and Deb used this as her sewing room. One of the coolest views of this house you will get right out this window. Garden venue. You will see the very cool potting cottage that was added on in mid-2000. And it really completes our garden space. You will also see our pool with snow on it, but during the summer it's a beautifully heated pool. We have lounge chairs, patio chairs, the perfect escape for our guests. Our beautiful built-in hutch, this is original to the home. We use it now to store a bunch of our linens for our weddings, but we wanted to keep it. It is very durable, sturdy, kind of brings back some history of the home.
Okay.
There we go. You're
That was
good
an
again.
abrupt ending. Sorry. We had originally planned to add, there was one bedroom that we didn't get to shoot, which was the carriage house suite, which is actually the garage that sits behind the actual mansion, has a carriage house above it. However, we had a long-term renter staying for about 3.5 months, and I felt really bad displacing him just to get a video, but all of that is online on our website to be able to do a 360-degree tour. So you can go on there and see that space. A little bit about that space, though, I did want to talk about. So it is above the actual garage. It's apartment style now, I like to call it. But in the early 1900s, there was an actual, I'll call him a stable man because he wasn't a boy, but he actually kept the horses and carriages from the 4 corner properties on 29th and Jackson Street. And he kept the horses, the carriages all intact. He groomed the horses, got them all ready for the day because obviously horse-drawn carriages were the way of getting around. In the carriage house itself, there are still the grain bins that come down, the hay bins that are original. They actually, one was intact and great. The other one is a little bit of a reproduction because they had to kind of fill in some missing slats. But he lived on the top, and all the horses and buggies were underneath of him, and he lived there. I want to say he started when he was 17, and I think don't quote me on this, but I want to say well into his 80s. He lived in that property. So it's cool because, a lot of people have asked me when I have given tours or rented out the house, why we added on this carriage house, but really that was there. That was one of the original bedrooms. And it's, when you guys see it, if you go on to the virtual tour, it's very, very, very cool. It's way more modernized now and almost is like a cottage cabin feel, and a beautiful, right when you walk in, you'll see it's a beautiful fireplace that they had put in. So it's one of our most popular rooms. I wish we could have gotten it, but one other thing, Kevin and he was my helper on this. I really wish you guys would have counted how many times I said beautiful, because I'm going to tell you I said beautiful 38 times in this video. And I felt awful after watching this. I'm like, these poor people are going to have to hear me say beautiful. So thank you for watching it. And I'm sorry if you counted how many times I said that word.
Well, it is really beautiful, Brittany. So I feel like you can stand by the word. We have just a couple comments, which is, it was a great tour. Loved it. And what an amazing space. I wanted to ask a couple questions, if that's okay. What about like the furniture? A lot of it looks obviously antique. Was some of that from the previous owners? Was some of that shopped around?
So yeah, actually, I'm going to probably say everything except for 3 of the bedrooms, beds, the bed sets were left. So John and Deb, I know I talked about them a lot. I kind of wish I would have prefaced it with the house sat empty from 2000 to 2004. So they really are a huge part of the history of the home, because from 2004 till last year, they had put a lot of time and money and work into the house because it very much needed a lot of TLC, very rundown. They did a lot of much needed work to it. So I wanted to preface saying that. So when they left, they downsized, obviously, and a little bit more modern of a house. So a lot of the stuff didn't fit. So they did leave almost all of their, the furniture in like the library and sitting room, the dining room, everything. I think we maybe bought just a handful of pieces to kind of fill the spaces. And in the basement where I had said past the pool table, where we're going to do a home gym, we actually just finished that last week. So it's kind of nice because I feel like we're always cooped up in the winter, and we had a few people staying with us that like to walk. So it kind of gives that option of being able to do that down there. Even if you just want to look at it and say, hey, I looked at the workout equipment, and that works.
That's great. Also, is there an elevator?
There is not an elevator. There was, I don't know if you counted, but most Victorian homes have a front and back staircase. One would be the masters of the house. The other would have been the servants. However, a lot of people ask about that in the manor. There is no elevator inside of it.
Tons of stairs though. I was very impressed.
And as you could hear, poor Kevin, he would give me a break walking up the stairs so I could breathe. I used to fly up the stairs, but being pregnant, it takes a lot out of you. And he was stuck having to like breathe heavy behind the camera. So
I honestly was very impressed by the lack of heavy breathing. So I thought he did a great job. Does anybody else have any questions?
What's it cost to stay there?
So the bedrooms range between $110 and $220. Inside the home, the lemon drop and jelly bean suite, the smaller rooms that shared one bathroom, those are the less expensive. And then the suites range between $160 and $180. And then the carriage house is what costs the $220.
That's pretty reasonable, I actually think, for a lot of places around here.
Especially in the summer, when you get access to the outside porches, the patio sets, the grill, the heated pool, it really is like all in one inclusive stay. And we're thankfully and luckily, with COVID kind of hopefully dying down and vaccines going out, we have booked almost all of June and all of July. So I'm excited. I mean, I'll be on maternity leave, but I'm excited that it's thriving.
That's great. How about if you wanted to book the whole house, like for a wedding?
Sure. So we have a few packages out this year. And I think we have about 8 weddings booked so far. People just email me or call me about weddings, and I give them, a private tour, see what they're looking for. The garden venue, which maybe I'll send you literally this year, like a really cool video you can show the class if you want, because it's a stunning garden, especially when it's all said and done, but obviously it was snow covered. But we can hold about 65 people in our garden. And then in the ballroom area that I had showed, 50 max is usually the key. So it's usually for a smaller wedding, a little bit tinier of a venue, but really intimate and romantic feeling.
Sorry, Cindy asked, is the outside color original?
So it is original. And it's funny because we have to repaint it like every 4 years. The brown fades fast, but yes, the outside is original. And I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, I don't remember, but when you drive past the peak of the house on each side, there's an A and an M on it for Ann Milas, for his wife.
That's a very cool thing to share. Thank you for sharing.
And I didn't share at the end, but she actually only moved here for about 2 months, and she moved back to England.
She wasn't here for it. The house did not impress her. It impresses me.
I don't know. I would love more of that history. I don't know if it was the house necessarily. I think, obviously back in the day, we were very attached to like our families. We had generations of families that lived, and I think she just really missed England. And he was here more for like work, and she was like, I want to be at home. So I think that's why it sold so fast from one family to another. But the Palmers did keep it in their family for a long, long time.
Cindy also asked, was there a designer architect?
Yes. And you know what? Let me get his name, because I always fumble on his name, but let me get it here.
I also put that 360-degree tour in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, so the actual architect of it actually built that house. And I don't know if you guys remember, I'm sure you do. They just tore it down a few years ago. Let me find. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to find it on here.
While you look, I see Carol, I could also start Googling if you'd like. Carol has a question. She's got her hand raised if you want to
Yeah,
ask
I just
that.
noticed in the sewing room, there was a little model of the house.
Yeah.
Dresser. Where did that come from and who made that?
So really quick, I will find his name and let you guys know. The architect. He also built Lowell School. I know that was torn down, I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, that's who built the house. I will find his name. The little model. Okay, so Deb wanted to actually like get rid of it. I don't think she wanted to throw it away. I think maybe just take it with her. But I said to leave it. There was actually, so in 5th grade, a lot of the elementary schools around here do a piece on history in their class. And they usually do like an architectural design of some sort. Like I know my parents got asked about the manor a couple different times, the Pierce Mansion. So a 5th grader actually made that in, I think like 2010, 2011. She came like right up to the door, I guess, and was like, I'd like to do your house for my project. So she got a little bit of the inside of the house and they gave her some pictures, and she, I'm going to assume her mom and dad helped her, built that, and then dropped it off to John and Deb after it was all said and done. They've kept it ever since. So.
I found the architect. It's William McLaughlin.
Okay. Yes. McLaughlin. I can never remember if it's McCook or McLaughlin. Yes.
Yes. William D. McLaughlin.
So he actually built 3 buildings around Siouxland, or helped do the architecture for him. One was the elementary school. One was a chocolate mansion. And I know another one was one of the buildings downtown, but, a lot of his architecture was derived from England, a little bit more advanced and different looking. So that's why I always like to say like Jackson is super historic, because the Chocolate Mansion and the Linda Sue Manor were one of the first on the block. There were a few other ones that were built, but that's why I feel like they stand out so much. There's such a variety of Victorian styles, but yeah, he had a lot to do with it and he did a really good job.
Neva wants to know, if you wanted to rent the house for a family reunion, what would that run?
So our one night stay, like a 1 day, 1 night rental, starts about $850, including tax. And that it can go, throughout the weekend up to $1,400. For instance, I have a family renting out, not the mansion, but the manor. And I think they're doing a week's stay for about $3,000, which sounds like a lot. But if you really think about it, you're renting out 10 rooms at a hotel, paying $120 a night. You're right there. And you get this whole entire house. You don't just get a room, you get a place to cook meals, have family dinners, you get a pool, you get a basement. So we're well under market value in our area, but the price tag, it always looks big. But then I explain to people and they're usually like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Honestly, just through doing VRBO and things like that, that's it's pretty on point, pretty standard.
Yeah. I always try to look at our competition in Sioux City, especially with the new hotel, the Warrior. It's beautiful and it's really elegant feeling, which I feel is very comparable to both of our properties. But we're also average $150 a night compared to $225 a night. So it works. It's nice. We get a lot of people from Airbnb and VRBO. And then I make friends with them and they book through me, usually in the future. But for instance, we've had people as far as like Tokyo. I've had a couple people from Paris. I've had people from Australia come stay with us. So it's kind of cool that our little niche in Sioux City has reached, across the world. It's cool.
That's very cool. Let's see, do we have any more questions? Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I think that we have ran through the questions, Brittany. That was so lovely. I love that video so much. Thank you for spending time with us and sharing. Jana, did you have something to share?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I loved it.
Or
You're
Neva?
welcome.
I just saw some unmuting. Oh, sorry. Siri.
I know.
Okay.
I wish I could have everyone tour in person, but I know it's better safe than sorry. So maybe in the future we could do something, maybe in the summertime too, when the garden's open.
Yes.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And thanks again, Brittany. You
Yep.
did a great job.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
I think